Hello and welcome to the weather update. It's about 10 o'clock on the 9th of September. Feeling more like the 9th of August or July. It's very humid again out there, and the same areas that got hit yesterday, sort of, I mean, there's some slight differences, but pretty much the same areas that got hit yesterday got hit again with thunderstorms. But you can see 79 degrees at Farmingdale, no rain here on Long Island. 75, dew points in the 70s, very humid. So let's go over this. Let's look at the satellite image. You can see all those storms that kind of popped off to our north and the west, and that's pretty much where they have stayed. We've pretty much an overcast here in Anvil. That's all high cloud. You can see them all firing up to the west. But again, that's where the front is. That's where the rising air is, and along the coast, we're just kind of have pretty boring weather for the most part. Over our area, again, on Long Island anyway, because again, we've got the stall front here, and you can see there is a low pressure area along that stall front. So that front is not moving at all. Again, there's no jet stream to move it along right now, so it's kind of just stuck there. And so let's go to the radar right now, and we'll look at the radar here and show you what's going on right now. And you can see their storms are up in Connecticut right now, and up in the Hudson Valley. But earlier, if we go to the Ventu sky, if we rewind the radar, we'll take you back to 2 o'clock. You'll see they were pretty much inland, west of the Parkway in Ocean County is where they started, and then they kind of moved northward here. And again, some of these had severe thunderstorm warning. You can see white, that indicates hail. Looks like actually part of Manhattan was affected by a cell around 3:30 this afternoon. And you can see they kind of move northwestward, which is kind of strange. You can see them moving from southeast to northwest, which is, again, really strange. But again, when you don't have much of a jet stream to move things along, this is what happens. You can see the movement of them from, I know, southeast to northwest. It's the totally opposite direction that storms should be moving in. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. It really is pretty crazy, you could see. And again, I wish we could loop. Actually, we can hit play on this, can't we? Let's see if we can. Let's see if we hit play. Let's see if it'll play and show us show the movement of these storms. Again, you can see southeast to northwest. Very strange. Very odd to see that kind of movement for thunderstorms, especially at this time of the year in September. Really, really strange. It's just another example of climate change. When you don't have a jet stream, that's what happens. So let's go back to the weather map here and look at our highs and lows for the day. So highs, still managed to get to the mid-80s here on Long Island, though later on in the afternoon it cooled off. So it's still above normal. Upper 80s in the city, upper 80s in New Jersey as well, maybe a few 90-degree readings. And lows, obviously, weren't really going much, if anywhere. Mid-70s, pretty much. Though you can see some areas in Jersey had colder temperatures, and I think these are from the thunderstorms. You have a thunderstorm, especially with hail, it can really cool the air down quite a bit. That's what I believe happened, and that's probably how they got their low temperatures. Let's go look at the rainfall for New Jersey today. We'll first start with the 12-hour rainfall. So not quite as much rain as, the storms were not quite as persistent as yesterday, but still a lot of rain in a lot of areas. You can see some areas got another inch of rain, and if we combine this with yesterday, I'll put this up to 48 hours here. If we combine this with yesterday and take a look at the amount of rain that fell over here, see, quite a bit of rain. Some areas got over 3 inches of rain. I mean, a month's worth of rain in some areas. It's just pretty crazy, as you can see, especially in northeast Bergen County. As going further south, you can see even parts of western Ocean County there. 2.09 in over 2 inches in Jackson. And then there's some stations that don't show up on here that actually wind up getting even more rain than that. So let's go to our climate statistics for the day at iSlip at our sites here. So looking at iSlip here, we had a high of 84. A normal high is 77. That's 7 degrees above normal. The low is only 76. That's 15 degrees above normal. So that puts us at 11 degrees above normal for the day. And absolutely no precipitation so far this month. Central Park, Also got up to 84, and they ran about 7 degrees above normal for the day. And they just received about a tenth of an inch today in rainfall. But if we move this over to Newark, I have a feeling they got a little more rain. They got up to 88, so they were 9 degrees above normal for the day, and they got no rain today, and only 0.29 for the whole month. So yeah, not too much rain there either. And again, most of the activity, I guess, was further west in New Jersey, further inland. Here is JFK, also 84, and they ran 9 degrees above normal for the high, and only just 0.01 inch of rain. So not a whole lot of rain. Again, it's been really, really dry lately. Unusually dry. Considering the humidity that we're in, you'd think we would get some more storms that would be more widespread, but they're just over the same areas. And now you can see they are now over Connecticut. And that's another area that could be getting a lot of rain right now. So we're going to go to the winter map and get some more rainfall numbers, because I know that this site has more stations, so you can see that some areas did pick up another inch of rain or two. You can see that here. Let me look at Connecticut. Let's see what the health. Yep, you can see. Yep, another inch, 1.13 around Hartford. So Connecticut also getting hit hard by these storms as well. Power outages. We do have 14,000 in Pennsylvania. We have 21,000 in Connecticut. It's mostly in Hartford County because they've been getting some pretty severe thunderstorms over there. In Massachusetts, also 25,000 without power. Again, from these thunderstorms that have come through, and some of them had strong winds. So the other big thing that we need to talk about, of course, is Hurricane Lee. So let's go to the latest from the Hurricane Center on that. It did weaken overnight to a Category 3. When I was looking at the satellite last night, it did show some weakening. It looked like maybe it was weakening and then to redevelop, but it's just kind of redeveloped into kind of a weaker type of storm. You can tell it kind of made some kind of transition, but it very well probably will become a Category 4 and maybe even a Category 5 again. And I'll explain the reason why I think it might have weakened. So Lee is to pass well north of the Leeward Islands during the next day or so. Hazardous beach conditions expected to develop across the western Atlantic through next week. As of 5 p.m., its location is 20.7 north, 59.1 west, about 310 miles. Northeast of the northern Leeward Islands, maximum sustained winds are 115 miles an hour west-northwest. It's moving west-northwest at 10 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure, 958 millibars, 28.29 inches. So it says maximum sustained winds are near 115, so it's Category 3. Gradual restraining is possible during the next couple of days. Hurricane force winds extend outward up to 40 miles from the center, and tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 185 miles from the center. NOAA buoy 40144, located about 85 miles north-northeast of the center of Lee, has reported a peak sustained wind of 84 miles an hour with a gust to 67 within the past couple of hours. So let's go to the map now and the cone here, and you see now they keep it a major hurricane. You can see it makes that northward turn around Wednesday. But they still don't know what's going to happen past then. And that's the mystery right now. That we just don't know. It's just too far out for us to really say. Margaret, obviously, I'm not even going to bring up at this point. But let's go take a look at Lee on the satellite here. So here's Lee again. You can see it's what I think is going on is there's some dry air around it. We're going to look at some different type of satellite imagery that I have to show you what I think has happened. So we're going to go to the Caribbean here. Let's go to the Caribbean here. So here's Lee right here. So let's show you what I think might have happened. All right, so here's Lee. And yeah, there isn't much shear in this area, but there was a little bit of dry air, and that might have had something to do with it. So if we go and we look at the water vapor, which they don't really have a regular water vapor image, but we'll go to mid. You can see there was a little bit of dry air around it. A little bit of dry air, and that, I think, helped weaken it a little bit. But once it gets further north, it's going to be back into some more moist air, and that's why I think it's going to regain its strength. We can go to tropical tidbits as well, and we'll go ahead and look at tidbits as well with this. And first of all, the infrared, again, you can see Lee's still healthy. It's just it's getting a little bit of dry air, and that's what I think's going on. So let's see if we can change this to water vapor. Yes, let's do water vapor. All right, actually, water vapor RGB. All right, it is showing that there is a little bit of dry air around the storm. So I think that's part of the reason why I think it lost a little bit of strength here. So well, it is showing moisture, but you can see it is moist. But this I don't think this image is as good as the other one personally for this. Again, if we just look at the regular water vapor that's not colored, you can see there is some dry air around, and that's why I think. But once it gets further north, I think it's going to have more moisture to work with. That's why I think it will strengthen again into a Category 4, possibly even a Category 5. Let's take a look at the spaghetti models. You can see they all keep it away, the spaghetti models, but if we go look at the ensembles, you'll notice there are a couple that go a little further off to the west. Most of them take it off to the east, but there are a couple that go off to the west. If we look at the GEPS ensembles, you'll see that there are a couple that take it off to the west a little more, all right? And none of the models are particularly distinct to regain Category 5 strength, but I wouldn't write that off yet at this point. Once it gets into that more moist air, I think it's going to intensify more. So let's go look at the models, and we will we'll go to Eastern U.S. again, Eastern U.S. view here, and we'll show you the surface, and then we'll show you the European, the upper air. So you can see we got that stall front in our vicinity right now. This is the GFS here. Finally brings a cold front through here, right? So Wednesday, Thursday, you can see that cold front. And the GFS keeps that trough in this position to steer the storm pretty much into Nova Scotia. And that's the GFS has been consistent with this. But let's go now to the upper air portion of this GFS. We'll actually go to the European, and then we'll go back. All right, so this is the 18Z European, which isn't going to go far enough out. But we have to go to the 12Z, because the 12Z is a lot different. So here's the European. Here's the high coming in, all right? But it's the European's just a little bit slower, has the high moving a little faster, and actually has the high actually steer it into, it looks like making a landfall somewhere in Rhode Island. And you can see with this particular setup, this would mean Long Island could get into some hurricane conditions, especially Suffolk County, with that rain shield. Obviously, the worst part of the storm on the right side of the storm is the worst side when it comes to wind. But this is definitely a little more worrying, and a big change from the 0Z run. So if I look at the 0Z run, you can see it's much further out. So whatever the case is, the European, it's just one run, all right? But whatever the case is, the European has a different setup, and definitely this is a lot more concerning, and this would be a really bad situation if this were to happen. Let's go look at the. I don't know if the icon goes far enough out. I don't think it does. No, it's not going to go far enough out. So let's go back to the European and the 12Z, and we'll show you the difference here in the upper air. So let's look at the jet stream first of all. Right, this is the European. The jet stream here, and you can see basically right now, we're kind of stuck in this, weak pattern here with the jet stream. You'll see there's that trough coming in, all right? The European's a little quicker with that trough, so it brings the trough in quick, but then the storm kind of misses the trough and then gets pulled back because the high builds back and gets pulled back to the west again. This is, again, what the European is doing, all right? Let's go to the height here, and you'll see here again, similar thing. You see what it does. It builds that ridge, all right? So when we look at the GFS, doesn't do that at all. It doesn't have a ridge there at all. And it has a much more progressive pattern and takes it out, all right? We look at the jet stream here on the GFS, and you can see it picks it up, and it flings it into Nova Scotia. So that's the difference here between the GFS and the European model. All right. So there's another model we can look at, which is the Canadian, which I don't usually use. But you see the Canadian also takes it away. So the European is the only one that's kind of doing this, and the European just, I mean, a lot of people are just kind of, a few people I know are like, oh, yeah, the Europeans aren't something. I don't know about that. I'm not going to say that. It's just one run to say that. And, you know, we don't want this to happen. So hopefully it's just one run, and we'll, you know, right now it's, again, so early. We're a week away from this thing getting close to us. So it's gonna take a lot of time. We just don't know what's gonna happen. But let's go back to the European here and take a look at the worst right now. The worst case scenario that the models are painting out, which would be the European. All right, so, and you can see the European just gets that front stalled. It kind of moves all away, and then the high kind of just. I don't know why it's so quick with the high like that. It just, to me, that doesn't make any sense that the high would just move that quickly and then just. I don't understand it. I really don't. But this would be the European, and we're going to put winds in here, all right? To show you where the wind field would go, because you see the strong wind field, the hurricane force wind field would definitely be, with this particular scenario, hurricane warning would probably needed to be issued for much of Suffolk County, a tropical storm warning for everywhere else. And again, to the right of the system, Boston would probably take a direct hit, and this would be a bad, and the Cape as well would be, with this particular setup here, the Cape would be really decimated by this kind of setup here, and the Cape would be wiped out pretty much if it were to take this track, all right? But again, I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think the GFS has been a more reliable model, and I think the GFS, I think it takes it. Unfortunately for Nova Scotia, they're going to have to deal with this, but I think the GFS, you know, it's been very consistent. Every run has been the same. The European has a lot of run-to-run volatility, so it makes me not want to trust the European. But again, we are still a week away, so I'm not saying not to watch it. I'm just saying right now I'm not gonna, you know, panic over one crazy European run. You know, we'll have to see if this becomes a trend, and then we'll have something to worry about if it does. But either way, if we go to the waves, significant wave height, regardless of whether we get a hit or not or over our area, we're going to have some pretty bad coastal flooding from this. You can see the waves here that could come in. And again, this is the scenario for Nova Scotia. Now, if we put this to the European run, this would be really bad for the coast here. Really bad. You would have, you know, Sandy level flooding, I think, in a lot of areas of Long Island, and perhaps probably worse, because this will be a stronger storm. But again, we are still way, way far out, and I don't really want to show any more of that. So let's talk about the more short term here. I go to the HRRR here, and we'll look at the 0Z run of the HRRR as we continue to deal with the Sucky weekend with stall front syndrome. So you'll see, again, you can have rain, shower, and thunderstorm chances, but notice most of them, again, inland, though. It looks like the HRRR wants to pop a few more thunderstorms over maybe Nassau County, over Long Island, so it looks like it's trying to maybe form a line that might wind up moving through and giving us some rain, hopefully, which we could use, again, tomorrow in the afternoon, perhaps. We'll see, and then as we move into Monday, you'll have, again, scattered shower and thunderstorm activity with the front still in the vicinity. All right, this is the HRRR, and you'll see the humidity isn't going to go anywhere. So here we are dealing with the humidity again tomorrow. You'll see dew points into the 70s, very humid. Monday, a similar thing, staying humid. You see the dry air is trying to get in now. Here we are on Monday. Dry air is trying to get in, but we're still dealing with this really humid air mass. And obviously, lows aren't going to drop back much tonight. Tomorrow, we'll have temperatures probably in the low 80s again, maybe a little bit cooler with more cloud cover. And then, yeah, similar deal for Monday again. Temperatures only around 80, but very, very humid. So let's, and again, if we look at the HRRR and see how much rain that it could give us, let's see what it has here. And again, it all depends on where these storms hit. But again, where the storms hit, look, if we get a couple of heavy storms over Long Island, we could get over 2 inches of rain perhaps in some areas. And we need it badly. So hopefully we get it, because again, we haven't had any rain at all this entire month. It's been, August was above normal, but now we've gone almost a week. We've gone 10 days without any rain. Over 10 days, so things are really getting dried out here, and that's not going to be good for the algae either. So let's go to the let's go back to the radar here, and I will put the NAM up next. So let's go look at the NAM kilometer, and again, we only have 19 hours of this in, and that's it for the 0Z. Let me go to the 18Z here. Well, you'll see again, the NAM kind of keeps the activity away from us, but with that low moving over, hopefully it can enhance some lift and we can get some showers and thunderstorms over here. So, and again, we're going to look at the instability and all the other stuff. We'll just go to the RGM here and just show you the skies. Obviously, plenty of clouds tomorrow. Maybe a break of sun, but I don't think we'll see much of the sun tomorrow. Monday, maybe a little bit, but we'll have to wait till Tuesday to maybe see a little bit more. And you'll see there's that front that's eventually going to come through. That's going to put an end to this. All right, we'll talk more about that tomorrow night. But let's look at some more stuff. So let's go to the Ventus Sky here, and still a few more things I got to look at here. So let's go look at the thunderstorm threat again. We've had some pretty crazy cape, and I think we're gonna have pretty decent cape again tomorrow. Let's see, yeah, 11, some decent cape, yeah, especially over eastern Long Island. So the cape's focused more on over Long Island tomorrow. So maybe tomorrow is our chance to finally get some rain that we need badly here, with some showers and thunderstorms. Let's look at the lifted index as well. Yeah, so conditions are looking a little more favorable for some rainfall tomorrow for us. So let's go to the Storm Prediction Center here. And obviously you can see they got the marginal risk just to our north and west. But let's go to tomorrow and see if they've done. No, they don't give us anything, unfortunately. They don't have any. So any of the storms of tomorrow, they're saying it won't be as severe. But I still think some of them could be strong. We've seen that already. So it wouldn't surprise me if we do actually see some severe storms tomorrow pop up over Long Island. But I definitely think we'll see more in the way of some rainfall tomorrow versus today over Long Island. I hope, because again, we haven't had much any rain at all. Again, if we look at the rainfall here for the month here at all our sites here on Long Island, nothing. So again, we're going to go and look at all our rainfall. We're going to go back to our local past weather, and you'll see what I mean. So if we look at all our sites here, islip, nothing. I'd like to know how much it actually. When was the last time islip had rain? We can actually go and we can actually look at that in the preliminary data. But let's. And again, these are the only stations that actually have. Yeah, they don't actually show the other stations here. But if I can go to the. Hold on a second. Go to like West Hampton, for instance. All right. I don't think they've had any rain at all. So let's take a look and see. Nothing. But it doesn't really. I'd have to go back to the weather and hazards map. I guess I hate having to do that, but let's go back there. And I just want to show you that we haven't had any rain on Long Island. I'd like to know the last time we did have it. If we go to the station plot and look at West Hampton or Shirley, all right, 3-day. All right, so if we go here, actually, I can change that. I can make that a longer thing. So let's change this here. 7-day. Go 7-day. There hasn't really been any rainfall on Long Island. Nothing. The precipitation column is dry, going all the way back here, and again, we're going all the way back. There's nothing. So it's unusual to go this long without any rain at all. It's not good at all. So we really could use some. I know it sucks it's on the weekend, but hopefully we can get some, and hopefully it's not a sucky rain. Hopefully we get some heavy rain, some thunderstorms to really help out our little mini drought here. Because again, I'd like to know the last time it actually rained. In fact, I can look this up. Let's look this up here. Let's look this up before I wrap up this weather update. I do want to look it up. We can go to the preliminary monthly data, and we can go look at islip, for instance. All right. You can see there hasn't been any rain. And as far as what we have, we're running 6 degrees above normal at islip. We are already almost an inch below normal for rainfall just for this month alone. And again, if we move this to think we can move this to monthly weather summary and move this to iSlope and show you again what. Oh, it's not going to have that, right? Only the current month data, so we can't really look at last. But it hasn't rained. I'd like to know. I'd like to know the last time it actually did rain at let's see, archive data. Maybe we could change it to the. Yeah, here we go. So I'm trying to find the last time it rained at iSlip. So it was the 30th. So it was August 30th. That was the last time we had rain at iSlip. So it's been a while, and that's what I'm saying. It's been really dry, and hopefully we can get some tomorrow. We'll have to see what happens. It's hard to say, you know. Looking at the models, I can go back to Tropical Tidbits and we can look one more time at the NAM and see if the newest NAM is providing any more hope for any rain tomorrow here for us. Now we have 23 hours of it. So let's see before I wrap up this weather update. And you can see again, the NAM is doing the same damn thing again, putting the rain in the north and the west. So the HRRR and the NAM don't agree onto where this is going to wind up. But I'm still a little hopeful that maybe we'll have a little better luck tomorrow getting some thunderstorms to form over Long Island, hopefully. So that's going to wrap up this weather update. Have a good night.